Hello, everyone. Today's session is from login to freedom, how to migrate from AWS DocumentDB to real MongoDB with ease. I'm Shuntong, Senior Consulting Engineer at MongoDB. So let's begin. And this is today's agenda. First, we'll begin by exploring the compelling reasons why migrate to MongoDB. Then we'll dive in the practical aspects of how to do the migration. What's the tool to use, the steps, and the method. Third, we'll provide a demo, a live demonstration to illustrate the process, the steps to do the migration in the demo. And at the end, we'll conclude with a concise summary with the key takeaways. The first part is why migrate. Okay, here's a table about what Amazon DocumentDB is and isn't in 4 aspects. First is architecture. Amazon DocumentDB is built on top of existing Amazon Aurora. So Amazon Aurora is a relational database service of Amazon. It's not based on MongoDB. So you will find many differences in its architecture, functionality, and scalability compared to MongoDB. Second, deployment. Amazon DocumentDB is only available on AWS Cloud, so not available on premises or other cloud deployments, which means that if you are going to deploy your database or application on premises, your own physical server, or you want to deploy your database or server in multiple clouds, DocumentDB will not be able to meet your requirements. Third, compatibility. Amazon DocumentDB is only partly compatible with MongoDB APIs. So it's not 100% compatible with MongoDB APIs. There will be lots of powerful MongoDB API that you can't use in DocumentDB. And there is a website tell you the competitive difference. You can visit the MongoDB website. And finally, the platform. DocumentDB is a NoSQL JSON document database, but it's not a developer data platform, which means you can't use time series or analytic in it. So for example, in time series scenario, you need to use DocumentDB in conjunction with other time series database. You can't complete all work in one database, but you can do this in MongoDB. So we covered about DocumentDB. The next page is why MongoDB, why choose MongoDB. There are a few benefits in rich functionality and better scaling capability. So let's break down each of these strengths. First, latest MongoDB features. You can use the latest MongoDB features, and every new version bring new powerful features and major performance enhancement. Last year, we released MongoDB 8.0 and maybe 9.0 will coming soon. By choosing MongoDB, you are choosing to stay with the cutting edge, and you can get immediate access to the latest and greatest tool to solve the modern problems. There are a lot of features that you can use. Second, this is a huge point for your development teams, the 100% compatible MongoDB APIs. The richness of the MongoDB APIs is specifically designed to reduce developer efforts. For example, with a built-in aggregation operator, you can handle your task with one line of code, but without it, you may need to write dozens of lines of code in DocumentDB. So with MongoDB, you write less code, your application innovate faster, and you let the database do the heavy lifting. And third, there are rich functionalities in MongoDB. And let me emphasize again, MongoDB is not just a database, it's a developer data platform. You can do a lot of things in one place in MongoDB. Look at the functionality list here, vector search for AI and semantic search applications, integrated full task search, optimized time series collections for IoT and financial data scenario. And the last, powerful built-in analytics. So the key benefits here is unification. This platform allows you to handle all of these works with one single integrated system, the MongoDB. So you no longer need to manage the cost and the complexity of having separate databases for one function. No more for the time series scenario, no more exploring data to a different time series database. So this is unification. And fourth, for horizontal expansion capability, there are flexible and powerful horizontal scaling in MongoDB. We provide sophisticated sharding toolkit, not a one-size-fits-all solution. So you can choose your sharding strategy. Here, we can choose range, hash, and zone sharding to perfectly match your workload and data distribution needs. So zone sharding, for instance, give you the process control over the data placement. You can let the data in sharding A or sharding B. It is all by your decision. And the scaling is flexible. You can even change the shard key of an existing collection because as your application evolves, you may need to change your shard key of one existing collection. So the next is PITR, point in time recovery, to protect against the human error. You can restore your data from the backup system. And the last is transaction. MongoDB provide full ACID transactions in sharding cluster. And finally is access to the original and true MongoDB expertise for support. This is crucial point about partnership. When you choose MongoDB, you can get access to the original and true MongoDB expertise for support. You are backed by a global community of experts. Our technical support and professional service teams are the people can provide help every day, and you are getting help from the source. Okay, we have covered the why migrate. Let's move on the practical slide, how to migrate. In this session, we'll discuss about the methodologies, migration tool, and specific steps involved in migrating your data from AWS DocumentDB to a real MongoDB. There's a demo. Okay, first, let's talk about the migration methodology, which have 4 key phases: design, de-risk, test, and migrate. In the design phase, our primary focus is clearly outline the desired migration end state. What do you want in the migration? And once they are defined, then officially kick off the migration process. Second, de-risk. This involves comprehensive analysis of the both source MongoDB and the target MongoDB clusters, including the proper sizing to ensure optimal performance during the migration. And we also consider the driver compatibility. When you migrate from maybe DocumentDB 5.0 to MongoDB 8.0, maybe you need to change the driver. Third, we will formulate a detailed migration plan, which have the migration steps. And in this migration plan, it will identify and mitigating potential risks in the migration before they become problems. And third is test. Test is crucial for validating our approach, our migration plan. We perform representative in a lower environment, ensure following the migration plan, ensuring everything in the migration plan works as expected without impacting our production systems. And then we will conduct a dry run in a production-like or production environment to simulate the actual migration process. And the last is migrate phase, which excludes the actual migration steps in your production environment. So it has a cut-over process. During the cut-over, we seamlessly switch from DocumentDB to MongoDB, and this cutover is carefully planned and excluded, typically during the off-peak business times. So this is the migration methodology. And let's take a look at the migration tool, Data Transmission Service, or DTS. DTS is a powerful and versatile tool that's built by Alibaba Cloud. It supports data migration and synchronization, access a range of database engines, including relational database, NoSQL database, and OLAP systems. And for us, it fully supports the migration from DocumentDB to MongoDB. It handles both full data migration and incremental data synchronization. So let's take a look at how to do the migration method. In the left side, here is DocumentDB, and here is NLB, and this is Alibaba Cloud, which we have DTS and MongoDB. For the migration, we can utilize several network connection options to bridge the migration tool DTS to our DocumentDB instance. There are 3 options: public network, VPN connection, and a dedicated line. And DocumentDB is deployed within Amazon VPC, and it is only accessible within the VPC, so you can't access MongoDB from the public network. So here we use an NLB network load balancer to build connections over the public network. So DTS can connect to DocumentDB through a public network and use NLB. After the network, we have 3 steps to do the migration using DTS. First, we create a full data and incremental data migration task using DTS. The task is configured to perform an initial full load of your data and followed by continuous synchronization of any ongoing changes. And 2, we perform full data and incremental data verification. This is a crucial step that will ensure data consistency between your source DocumentDB and the target MongoDB cluster. It will verify all data between the DocumentDB and MongoDB. Finally, the cutover step is changing your DocumentDB connection URI to MongoDB connection URI. After this step, you switch from connecting to DocumentDB to connecting to MongoDB. So there are 2 benefits of using DTS. The first is easy to operate. DTS provides a user-friendly interface and streamlined process. You can operate the whole DTS only using your mouse. So second, and most important, is minimal downtime or near zero downtime. DTS allows you to keep your application running during most of the migration time. So this is the migration method. Okay, let's take a look at the demo. We will walk through the key migration steps, showing you how to use DTS to migrate data from AWS DocumentDB to Alibaba Cloud MongoDB. So let's begin. Okay, here we have a DocumentDB with 3 nodes, 1 primary and 2 replic, which means secondary, and the version is 5.0. And we click the primary node. We can see the connection URI and the TLS is enabled, which have TLS equal true. And we have a EC2 machine here, and we already download the PM file and the Mongo shell command. We use the Mongo shell command to connect to the DocumentDB to test the connection. Okay, we input the password. Okay, we successfully log in the DocumentDB, and we check the status. It has 1 primary, 2 secondary, and the represent name is S0, and the status is okay. Then we check the data. We have 1 database, which name is sample, and it has we checked collections. It has 2 collections. 1 is request and 1 is user. And we check the data here, and we use find one command to get one document. Okay, and we check the with the count command. It has 1,000 documents in the request collection. Okay, the user collection also we can check the document here, and the count. It also has 1,000 documents here. And second, we need to enable the changing streams, which is disabled by default. So DTS will use change stream to do the continuous synchronization. So we need to enable this change stream here. We use admin, and we use command to enable change stream for all database and all collections. And we have a command to check the result. And we can see here, database is empty and the collection is empty, which means we have already enabled change stream for all collections. Okay, the next step we need to do is to disable the TLS. DTS now we don't support TLS migration, so we need to disable the TLS parameter. So here we need to create a new parameter here. We input the name. Okay, and we need to choose the version that we use, which is 5.0, and we create the migration, the parameter group, and we click in the parameter group and we input TLS. We need to edit this parameter. Okay. Okay, we add it to the dispo, and we back to the cluster. Here we edit the modify, and we modify the parameter group of this DocumentDB, and we choose the migration paragraph, and we click modify cluster. But the TLS parameter needs reboot the DocumentDB cluster. So we need to reboot the DocumentDB cluster here. Okay, we click reboot. Okay, here let's wait for a moment. Okay, the status is all available, and let's check the connection UI. We can see the there's no TLS parameter here, and let's check the connection, the connectivity again, and we use the Monk shell in the EC2 machine. Okay, And let's check the data. And 3-node primary to secondary is status is okay. So we successfully dispose the TLS. So the next is we need to create NLB, the network load balancer, to let to the DTS can connect to DocumentDB through the public network. And first, we need to create a new security group in AWS, which is used by NLB, the network load balancer. So we input the name NLB security group, and we input the description. Here we will add 2 inbound rows. One is the IP list of the DTS in Singapore region, because the DTS that we use is in Singapore, and the MongoDB instance is in Singapore too. So we copy the IP list here and paste paste to the inbound row. Okay, the port is the default port of MongoDB, and we paste the IP list here. Okay, and the next one, I will add an IP address of my local laptop, the public IP address of my local laptop. So I use if config me to get my public IP address. So we paste it here, and okay. Okay, we create the security group. Okay, and next we need to create a target group, which is used by the load balancer. The target group, we choose the IP address. So the target group is DocumentDB. The NLB will use the target group to access the DocumentDB. So we input the target group name here, DocumentDB target group, and the package we choose TCP. And the port is the port of the DocumentDB, so it's 27017. So we click next, and here we will input the IP address of the MongoDB primary node, and we will get the IP address through the domain. So this is the domain of the primary instance of DocumentDB, and we use the ping command to get the IP address. So we paste here, and we click include below as pending below, and we create the target group. Okay, we have successfully created the target group, DocumentDB target group. And the next is we need to modify the default secret group of DocumentDB to okay, we click the security group, and we will edit these inbound rows. We will add 1 row to allow NLB access to DocumentDB. So the port range is the port of DocumentDB. So we add the NLB security group here, which will allow the NLB access to DocumentDB. So, okay. The next step is we close this tab here, and we back to the NLB, and we will to create the load balancer, and we choose the network load balancer, which will transfer TCP, UDP, and TLS. So we click the create button, and here we input the load balancer name. Okay, for the network mapping part, because the we for the migration, we only use the primary node. So we get the zone or the region of the primary node. Let me find the okay, we can see it has 3 regions, but for the primary, it is 1B. So we copy this region and we search here. Okay, we click this 1B and we use elastic IP address, and the NLB will listen to this public IP address. And for security group, we choose the NLB security group that we create times ago. Okay, and for the port, this is the port that bind by NLB. So we use the MongoDB default port, and the default action, we choose the target group that we created minutes ago. So let's click the create load balancer button. Okay, here we successfully create the load balancer, and we need to wait for few minutes. And we can see the EIP here, the IP address, and the target, which is DocumentDB. And we need to wait minutes to the target become health and the status become active. So we can see the status is active, and we need to wait the target to become health target. And we have 1 target, which is the primary node of the DocumentDB. Okay, the target is healthy, and now we can test the network. Okay, through the NLB, and here is my laptop, and I use Mongo shell command to log in the MongoDB through the public network, and we delete the domain, and we paste the EIP of the NLB. Okay, and we input the password here. Okay, we successfully log in MongoDB through the public network, and we can check the data use show DBs, and use sample show collections. And we can use the find one to get the document from the DocumentDB through the public network. Okay. The next step is we log in the Alibaba Cloud MongoDB, and we create a MongoDB instance. We click the button create instance. And here for this demo, we create a replica site in Singapore region. So we choose multiple zones, which have A, B, C, 3 zones. So for engine version, we choose MongoDB 8.0, and there are 3 nodes in by default. For storage tab, we choose PR1. When you need a stronger storage type, you can choose PR3 and auto PR. And for storage, we input 100 GB. And here, the default username root, we set the password here. Okay, the instance name, which can be modified after the creation. We click Buy Now. Okay, pay. Okay, the payment is completed, and we can. This is the replica instance list here. We can see the whole list, and we can see the instance that we create. The status is creating, so we need to wait for a moment. Okay, the the status is running, which means the instance is okay now, and we can check the detail information and the connection details. We can't see the connection string here because we need to add a whitelist. So here we have a ECS similar to EC2 in AWS, and we copy the private IP address, and we add this address to the IP whitelist of MongoDB test ECS, and we paste IP address here. Okay. Okay, now we can see the connection string here, and we copy the connection string, and we log in to the ECS. Okay, this is ECS virtual machine, and I have already downloaded the Mongo shell command, and we use Mongo shell to log in the MongoDB instance that we created minutes ago, and we input password. Okay, we successfully log in, and we check the status of the MongoDB replica site. It has 1 primary and 2 secondary, and the status is okay. And let's we check the data. It has 3 databases: admin, config, and local, which is the system databases in MongoDB. So this don't have a user databases, which means it's empty MongoDB. So the next step is we enter the DTS console and the data migration. We create a data migration task. It has 2 sides. The left is the source database. We choose MongoDB, and here we choose the public net IP address, which and Singapore, and we choose architecture, sharded cluster, and chain stream. And as we mentioned before, Aurora is DocumentDB is based on Aurora, so it don't have OP-log. It only have chain stream, and we copy the EIP here to here, and the port is 27017, and we input the username of DocumentDB and the password of DocumentDB here. And the right side is the destination database, and we choose MongoDB, and the instance region is Singapore, which means our F0 for MongoDB instance is in Singapore. We can see Singapore zone A, B, C, and we choose the instance ID that we create, and the authentication database, and the username and password. And we click the test connectivity and the process. And here we already add the IP list of DTS to the security group in AWS. So we don't need to do it again. So we click the test connectivity button. Okay, in this process, DTS will connect to the both source and destination. And here we can see the migration tabs, schema migration, full data migration, and incremental data migration. For schema migration, it will migrate the collection and index. It will create collection and index in the destination MongoDB. And for data migration, it will migrate the full load of data. And incremental migration, which will capture the ongoing changes in DocumentDB and apply to the destination MongoDB. And here, this is the database list in the source DocumentDB, and we can see there are two collections, user and request. Here we can choose one collection or the whole database. We choose the whole database sample, and we click the next advanced citing. Okay, this is the advanced configuration. If you we need the default parameter here. If you need any other help, you can use the support in Alibaba Cloud, and we will have a migration playbook, and we will mention later. And here is the data verification. We will enable the full data verification and incremental data verification, which will compare the data between the source DocumentDB and the destination MongoDB. And we use the default parameter here, and we click the save task sightings and pre-check. Okay, we enter the pre-check step, and there are many items in the pre-check. It will check whether it is suitable for migration both in source and the destination. So auto check is successful. We can click the next purchase the instance. Here are 5 instance classes from small to child large. This instance class means the speed of the incremental synchronization. So if you need a higher synchronization speed, so you can choose a larger instance class. Here we use the default larger, and we click buy and start. Okay, we have successfully created the DTS migration task, and the status is running, and we can see many steps here. One is pre-check, which is completed. The 2 is incremental data collection, which will DTS will connect to DocumentDB using chain stream to get data, gets incremental data from the DocumentDB. Okay, let's wait a moment. Okay, this 3 is schema migration, which will create collections and indexes in MongoDB. Okay, the schema migration is completed, and the full data migration is running. in this step, in this phase, which will copy the full data of the DocumentDB to MongoDB. Okay. Okay, the incremental write is running, and it will running for until we do the cutover. We stop the task. So in parallel, the 7 and 8, the full data verification and incremental data verification will running. And let's wait a moment. Let's wait. Okay, we can see the latency here. It's 1 second. Okay, let's check the data in MongoDB first, and we need to wait a moment. Okay, this is the MongoDB connection UI, and we use show DBS. Okay, we can see the database sample, and the storage size is 116 KB, and in DocumentDB it is 515 KB. So MongoDB has a higher compression ratio compared to DocumentDB. You can save a lot of storage. And we can see the collection here, and DB the request count. Okay, 1,000 documents. The number is correct. Okay, let's refresh the page. Okay, we can see the full data verification is completed, and we can see the details. It will check 1,000 of records from the source request to the destination collection request. And for user, the same thing. And incremental data verification, it will running forever until the cat over. You stop the DTS task. Okay. Okay, this is the demo. Let's back to the deck, the tips in the migration. So there are 3 tips. First is sizing. So you must properly size your source DocumentDB and DTS and target. The second is testing and dry run are mandatory, which is very important. Through testing in a lower environment is crucial to validate the verification plan and ensure everything works as expected. And dry run in the production or production-like environment is vital to simulate the actual cat over. And finally, monitoring resource utilization for the migration pipeline, source, DTS, and the target. We need to constantly monitor the resource usage, both in the source, that's DTS, and the target. Okay, summary. To summarize our discussion today, there are 3 parts. First is why migrate. We have shown that migrating to MongoDB provide 100% compatible with MongoDB APIs, which significantly reduce development effort. And you also gain access to the rich functionality, vector search, like full text search, and horizontal scalability. And how to migrate. We introduced the DTS as a key tool to achieve near zero downtime migration using DTS. And the third is demo. We illustrate the specific migration steps and making the process clear. Okay, next steps. We highly encourage you to use Apsara for MongoDB in Alibaba Cloud. And we also have a wealth of essential resources. You can scan this QR code for find free trails. And you can also find useful content on GitHub, YouTube channel, and course. Okay. And okay, thanks for your time.